My darling, you've left me here alone. I'll walk the streets of London, which once seemed all.
Hey there, and welcome to the tutorial for the estimated closing statement. Now you're going to see a lot of documents like this where they break down charges and whatnot. This one is created by escrow, and it is the final breakdown of the charges, the most up-to-date account of where all the fees are going and what all the charges are for the loan. It's called a whole lot of different things. Sometimes it'll be called the estimated closing statement. Sometimes it's just called the estimate or the closing statement or the HUD or the HUD 1. It goes by a lot of names, but it all does the same thing. It's an itemized list of every fee associated with the loan, and it's created by escrow. So in this instance, they're all going to look different too, because each escrow company has their own way of doing stuff and their own way of creating these documents. But this escrow company has nice little titles for each category. So in this case, title charges is going to list every single fee associated with the title company. Escrow charges, same thing. It's going to list every fee associated with escrow. Lender charges, it's going to list all the fees associated with the lender, so on and so forth. At the very bottom of this, when everything's tallied up, it's going to have a balance down here. Now this one says balance due escrow, and that's that amount. What that means is that the borrower has to bring in that much money in order for the loan to close. Sometimes they have to pay money, sometimes they get money back, but balance due escrow always means that they need to pay money to close the loan. If it were to say check herewith right here and then have an amount, that would be the amount that the borrower gets back by a check or wired money or whatever. You're just going to have the borrower sign the bottom. Now, a word of warning, this, out of all the 100 or so documents in a loan packet, this is the one that consistently gives me the most trouble. So I like to try to get it out of the way first, and I like to throw it at them right at the beginning and get it out of the way, because they're going to go over this, and most of them will at least go over every charge and fee and go over, they're going to nitpick it. And sometimes they're going to have questions about why they're paying this much for this and why they're paying this much for that. That's really none of your concern. You can't possibly know why they're paying such and such for, a processing fee or a credit report. That's not really your job to discuss that. I would always bring the number of the broker or somebody that the borrower can talk to about the charges, because about 70% of the time they're going to have questions about some of these fees. Now, another thing I want to show you is down here in lender charges. A lot of the times you're going to have borrowers ask you if they have an impound on the loan. What that means is that when you impound your taxes and insurance, the lender pays them for you. They take out a little bit. You pay a little bit extra each month, and when your taxes and insurance become due, the lender takes care of that for you. Quick way to find out if they have that or not is to come under lender charges and just look. It says hazard insurance reserves for 6 months, county taxes reserves for 6 months. That means that they've set up an impound account, and that, yes, they are going to have impounds on this loan, and the lender will take care of the paying the taxes and insurance and whatnot. Anyway, that's this document. I would get it out of the way first, and you'll be glad you did.